Well, Connecticut hospitals are joining a national gun safety movement to address guns as a leading cause of death in kids.
Yeah, they're uniting to educate families on gun safety and to talk about gun access and safety measures. We're joined by Connecticut children's doctor Brenden Campbell to talk about the movement. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Campbell. So let's talk first about the mission. What is it all about?
Sure. So, hospitals across the United States have been trying to do more to try and prevent gun injuries, which have been really a problem. We've seen over the last few years that gun deaths have actually overtaken motor vehicular deaths as the leading cause of death and injury for children and young adults. So hospitals want to do more, and all of Connecticut's 3 trauma centers here in Hartford have joined hospitals across the country to try and prevent injuries rather than just treat the victims of gun violence.
So what will this movement involve actually doing, and what do you hope to accomplish?
Well, obviously, the thing we're hoping to accomplish is to lower the number of Americans that are impacted by this epidemic. But it's really bringing hospitals together, sharing best practices, and implementing the different types of things that we know work. We had a very successful gun buyback program in Hartford and across the state last weekend. But it's also about incorporating things that we know work into clinical practice to prevent unintentional shootings, to lower the incidence of suicide, which is a real problem with firearms.
Okay, so give us a sense of the scope of the problem that's happening, especially because you're working in the hospital from a physician's perspective. Can you show us what you're seeing?
Well, I mean, we see it all, from unintentional shootings for curious toddlers to teenagers and older adults who are depressed and committing suicide, to the violence that you guys report on an almost daily basis in this state. But the goal is to prevent those things, and there are some things that we can do. We have hospital-based violence intervention programs at the 3 trauma centers here in Hartford, and community engagement through things like the buyback and helping people, gun ownership is a legal thing that we can all do. We just want to make firearm ownership as safe as possible.
This is such a hot potato on the political side. On the medical side, have you had any interaction with or received any reaction from gun rights activists on this?
Well, we have, but the irony on this subject is it is very controversial. But if you talk to people on both sides, we all agree that we want to prevent these injuries. And gun safety and safe firearm ownership is something that just about everybody can agree on.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Campbell. We appreciate your time.
Yep. Thanks for having me.